Hi, so we're going to create the virtual machines with PowerShell using Cloud Shell. So let's see how to do that. So I'm back to the Azure portal and I'm going to go to Cloud Shell. So click on Cloud Shell. So our PowerShell is ready to be used. So how we create virtual machines on PowerShell is that we need to create the password. So once we've created the password in the right format, we will now use it to create the credential along with the username. So once we've created the credential also in the right format, then we now use it within the Azure command for creating the virtual machine. So let's quickly do that now. So I'm going to create my password and I'll say the variable password is equals to, so I'll convert it to first to secure string, and I'll put my password, which is Azure admin 123 hash. Now close that. Then I'll complete that by saying as plain text then false. Then I'll create the credential, also a variable. I'll just call it cred. It will come in as a new object. Then the system management automation PS credential. Then I'll put in the username with the password we created. So open and close bracket, then I'll put in the username. My username is Azure admin and the password is the variable we created, and we'll press enter. And now we can now type out the commands to create the new virtual machine. So we'll say new, then we have to specify the name of the VM. So we'll say name, and our VM would be VM lab 0301. That's our first VM. Then we need to specify the credential details which we created. So we'll say credential, and it's going to be the variable we created, cred. Then we need to specify the resource group that this virtual machine will belong to. So we'll type resource group name, and that will be the RG lab 03. Then we specify the location, and that will be West Europe. Then we specify the type of image for the operating system, and that would be the Ubuntu LTS. And we try to create an inbound port rule to allow SSH access to the virtual machine. So we're going to say open port 22. And once we're done, we press enter. So we made a mistake. It's meant to be new Azure VM. So AZ VM. So press enter. And now it has successfully created our Azure virtual machine. So let's get the virtual machine table. So AZ VM, and we want to see that in formatted table, and we can see that it has created our virtual machine 1 that is in the resource group lab 03, and we can see the size it assigned to our virtual machine, and that was successful. So let's create a second virtual machine, and this time we are going to make our commands to be in an orderly fashion. So let's try and do that now. So first of all, we need to create the password as usual. And once we set the back quote, we'll press enter for the next line. And now we need to specify the credential. Then we use the back quote for the next line. Then now we need to specify the resource group that the VM will belong to. Then we'll type the back quote for the next line. Then we have to specify the location. West Europe. Then we'll put the back quote. Then we have to specify the image, which would be the Ubuntu LTS. Then put the back quote. Then we have to create an inbound rule for open ports for SSH. And now we can press enter to create the second virtual machine. So it's telling us no size value has been provided, so it's using the default size. And it's creating our virtual machine. And now it's telling us that VM has been created. So let us find that out. So we're going to get the VM table, get Azure VM. And we can see here that we have our two virtual machines created in resource group lab 03, and they are both using the size standard D2S and succeeded, meaning that they exist. So let's check our portal and confirm that our virtual machines have been created. So we'll scroll down and go to virtual machines. And now we can confirm that our two virtual machines have been created here, and they are currently running and located in West Europe. So we've successfully been able to create virtual machines using PowerShell on Azure Cloud Shell.